Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Welcome to one in my railway series. Today we're in the county of Devon and to the location of the first railway station reopening I covered here on West Country Wanderings something like 3 years ago when I looked at the station reopening at Okehampton, which is just back down the track there. This is the Granite Way. Carrying on that way takes you to the village of Lidford. The track carried on to the city of Plymouth. Just a bit further down there though, the tracks diverged off towards the junction and heading north towards the coast at Bude via the Devon town of Holsworthy. So far so good, but we're heading this way though towards Meldon Viaduct. Now we're going to be looking at three things in this video, three short things. One of them is to look at the potential reopening of the freight line at Meldon Quarry, which was used in BR days to provide ballast. It closed, I think it was around 2006. So if we can see what we can of that and what's happening in that area. I then want to do a recap video, short update, looking at Okehampton Station, see what that looks like at the moment. And then I want to take you down to the site of a brand new station, never a station there previously. I think it was going to be called Okehampton Parkway, and they've changed that now to be called Okehampton Interchange, which hopefully will be opening at the end of next year. So three things to look at here in this railway series video in the county of Devon. So I hope you can join me again here on West Country Wanderings. As we head on our walk towards Meldon Viaduct, you can see the extent of Meldon Quarry there, and it looks like that's going to be reopening again soon. So heading back down that way after Lidford, it heads south and it links up with the present day Gunners Lake branch at Okehampton, which we looked at a separate railway series also here in the county of Devon earlier on this year. So yeah, all these things kind of link together, don't they? And this would make a great alternative route for trains heading into Plymouth and Cornwall to avoid the coast at Dawlish. Obviously lots of money being spent at Dawlish, but will this railway line here from Okehampton down towards Plymouth reopen again? Well, there's talk of it reopening to Tavistock, been lots of plans with that, and I discussed that in that Okehampton video, and I'll link to that one at the end of this video. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this line reopening as well. Do you think that will happen? Please drop a comment below. So originally this was the London and South Western Junction Railway's route from London Waterloo, going down. Well, the line is still open to Exeter via Salisbury, of course, but that's the end of what is known as the Withered Arm. Reopening, though, has changed that to the station here, Okehampton, just the other side of Meldon Viaduct. Well, a little bit, a couple of miles further on. But let's have a look at what remains of Meldon Quarry here. Great to see this overbridge still intact and in excellent condition. Now on Meldon Viaduct, looking across towards Meldon Dam and Meldon Reservoir over there. It's always an impressive sight. And over there is the edge of Meldon Quarry with some of the railway buildings in there. So if we can go down and have a look at those. Now the dam here was completed in 1973, damming off the West Oakman River, and it can hold up to 300 million litres of water. But I suspect the water level in it is a little bit lower than is ideal for this time of the year at the moment, as we've had an exceptionally dry springtime. So Meldon Viaduct was opened in 1874 as a single track structure, a single line viaduct, but in 1879 a second viaduct was added alongside it, allowing for two train lining on what is, of course, a primary main line, or rather was until closure here in the 1960s. So I've now walked down on an access path which takes you underneath the amazing structure that is Meldon Viaduct. You can see it there, once carrying trains in all directions to Bude, Holsworthy, Plymouth and Cornwall from London Waterloo. Hard to imagine now, of course, but superficially, at least from this angle, it looks in very, very good condition. Now, I'm not sure if those supports there have been repainted fairly recently. They're looking in very good condition better than the paintwork here. There's a couple of bits where it's peeling off, but aside from that, it looks in remarkably good condition indeed. I would imagine it was redone, well, at least redone when the Granite Way cycle path was opened, and possibly again since then. And taking the little steps down to the access balcony gives you this grandstanding view, which is very impressive. There is a central walkway in there. It's obviously locked up, but they can certainly do that when they're doing the maintenance on it and checking security and safety, that sort of thing as well. Now sadly this site, which was once of course part of the Meldon Quarry with their marshalling yards etc., was also once part of Dartmoor Railway, a preserved railway line which I believe closed around 2006. I will check that and put the date in below. But yes, Dartmoor Railway, it was bought by an American company, and sadly they didn't invest anything into it, and it just folded. I do remember travelling on this on summer Sundays. You could actually get a train from Okehampton station all the way directly through to Exmouth, which was good. I think it was called the Dartmoor Rover, but it ran summer Sundays only. But it's sad to see it in this site, and the cream coloured fence you can see through there, I think, was a repaint in the Dartmoor Railway days. Now looking through the fence here, security fence they've put in since this site was closed. Of course now it's going to be back to being a working quarry again soon. You can make out a station there, and that was opened by the Dartmoor Heritage Line, Dartmoor Railway, and I remember using that. They ran shuttle trains between Okehampton station to here, and then you could alight here and walk back along the Granite Way back to Okehampton, or just get the return trip. And I think it was at one time one of the highest stations in England. I can't remember the height of it. See if I can find that, drop it in below. But it just seems so sad to see the platform there covered in weeds, sadly neglected, never to be reopened. Now the toilet facilities here are from the days when it was a heritage line, but all now locked up, sadly abandoned, and of course adorned with the usual graffiti. So sad to see that. Well, I've just come across this item at the back of one of the sheds. Does anybody know what that was once used for here on the railway? I'm guessing it predates the heritage railway lines, but going back to when this was working operations in the 1960s. If you do know, please drop a comment in the usual way below. Just looking through the fence here, I don't know if the fence was showing up through or not, but got my lens right up to the fence line here. So this is literally the end of the track as far as Meldon Quarry is concerned at the moment, but it was also the line into the heritage line. They had in this area there was once a refreshments carriage they carried out here. People alighting off at Meldon Halt there. Well, I'm currently on an access road. Well, I think it's an access road to Meldon Quarry, Meldon Aggregates as is known, but it doesn't exist on the map, on the US map. I'll put it in now exactly where I am. It just shows you the footpath. I haven't broken through any fences. This is a public right of way, so we're going to continue along here. But I've never been to this section before, so you know as much as me, so let's go and have a look. So I'm standing in what was the original quarry long before BI, and well, previous to that actually. So just rewind our story. The end of the 19th century, railway companies started operations here for getting out rock. Now the rock is actually known as Meldon Aplite, and it makes it very, very suitable for railway ballast. It's a perfect size, perfect shape, and it's also hard wearing for having under railway tracks. So the quarry itself, the present day quarry, is up there. So that's the access road that goes into the quarry, though you can't get up there because it's a private road and I don't wish to trespass or anything there. But here there was a much earlier quarry. I think it started towards the beginning of the 19th century, predating the ballast quarry here, which is hopefully about to reopen and also to be rail served here from Meldon. And this site, because of the apatite and all of the rare minerals in it, it made it very, very suitable for using in glass. So over here, when we have a view back towards Meldon Viaduct, over there you can see a building. I'm not sure the purpose of that building there, probably for one of the other quarries, but above that is Meldon Viaduct, where we were standing on earlier. But yeah, so this whole site here, lots of quarrying, Meldon apatite, which I'd not heard of before. I normally like taking an interest in geology, but I hadn't come across that until I saw it on the interpretive board there. But there is a flooded. The reason why that road was busy isn't because people are working on the quarry today, but they're all using this impromptu car park here, which is free, to then go and use one of the abandoned quarries, which is flooded, to swim in, as it's such a warm Sunday afternoon. Well, there is a magnificent structure. There is Meldon Viaduct. Now, I have heard different arguments saying this viaduct is not suitable to carry railway traffic, and that indeed why the Heritage Line couldn't extend onto the Granite Way further. But I've also heard that it's been tested and it is safe to open trains on it again. I don't know. I'm not a civil engineer. If you are an engineer or have that kind of background and you're watching this, love to know your own thoughts on, is this viaduct safe or not here at Meldon, near the town of Okehampton in West Devon. Now, I believe that the flooded quarry is actually up there, higher up that quarry bank there, to the middle left of your screens there. Because there'll be people bathing in it today, I don't particularly want to film that for people's privacy, etc. But yeah, that's where it is, and it seems to be a lot of people know about this locally. The other official car park for Meldon Reservoir, however, which you can walk to from here, you do have to pay to park there, but not the one here at the site of Meldon's quarries. So you can see the rock exposed on this face of Meldon Quarry here, or one of the former Meldon quarries, with that reddish tinge which gives it its distinctive nature, making it most suitable for ballast. You can actually make out a rail here on the bank of the stream. The other one, well, it's ridged up on this side, on the right hand side, so that's a bit lower down. So perhaps there was originally a tramway serving the needs of this quarry prior to it being in BR days. Now, though I can't show you anything concrete that's happening here, is that a pun? Not quite, but it's stone obviously. So this is Meldon aggregate sign here, HGVs. No brakes to be taken on the exit road from the quarry to the main road, so they're blocking it all up. But those screws there and that piece of wood is brand new, so that's a brand new sign. So you can tell things are starting to happen. This building here was actually once used as Meldon Visitor Centre when it was the Dartmoor Heritage Railway. Sadly, no more. Now, this gate here on the Granite Way used to be closed when they were blasting. That was installed when they opened the Granite Way. Will that be required once more? I'm not sure. And here we're looking at Meldon Station's canopy close up here. Sadly in a very poor condition these days. Yes, and I think it's this notice board here, the platform or station name running board, which gave you the indication of height here at Meldon Halt. But I can't remember what it is to find that out, or indeed a better photo, because you can't get round access to that side of it now. I'll put it in the usual way below. And here there's a water tower, still in existence but in poor condition. That was once used by the Heritage Line as well. Very dark cloud ahead. Wow. We're now looking deeply into the Meldon Quarry site, and you can see there's an orange digger, insert an arrow. That's brand new, so you can tell that work is taking place because there's these new piles of aggregate stacked up. Some of the rails have been taken out recently, but there's some new signs that have gone up, and certainly things happening. When the rails will go back down though, I'm not sure. You can see the rails that were once used here, Meldon Quarry, to take away the aggregate to be used as ballast. In pre-British Rail and British Rail and post-British Rail days. And hopefully once again as well. Just make out a brake van down the end there. I can't get a better shot of it because of the gorse that's grown up at this time of the year, of course. But yeah, this looks like there's a worker's van there. Plate layers trolley. These are the abandoned buildings. But I'm not sure they're going to be building some new buildings here. And a little crane there as well. But yeah, fascinating to see. Obviously there is something happening, but lots of speculation on the railway forums. Let me know your own thoughts about this freight line reopening again below. Well, that's the end of this little section of the video. Just going to go over to a quick ad break now. And I'm going to head back to my car and then going to drive over to Okehampton railway station, do a recap what that looks like these days after we did the opening on that a few years ago. Was it 2021, I think, that opened? I did like a pre-video when it was actually putting the new track in, and a video after the track had been opened and the new services. It's been a phenomenally successful station reopening and services reopening from Exeter. Every hour and hour. Initially it was every 2 hours to Okehampton. Every hour, and there's a connecting bus that takes you on to the town of Bude, which I do believe it goes non-stop. So that takes about an hour to go from Okehampton to Bude, and it's about 40 minutes from Exeter St David's or Exeter Central to Okehampton. So it's a good bit of public transport infrastructure here in West Devon and indeed North Cornwall too. So and this new railway station that we're going to be having a look at the site of at the moment will be brilliant for people who live in places like Launceston, as well as other places here in West Devon as well, to drive to use it as a park and ride facility to go on into Exeter, perhaps for work, shopping, and connecting up with mainline express trains to other parts of the country. So yeah, it sounds a brilliant idea. So the Okehampton station that has been opened, that's going to remain open. However, loads of cars using that is tricky because you've got a narrow bridge and a limited space for car park there. So this one will have a bigger car park and it'll be a lot easier for cars to get into and out of. Anyway, see you in a bit. Well, welcome back to Okehampton Station. As I say, it was getting on for 4 years ago, so last year we did the second video after the station opened, and we did a video prior to that looking at construction of it. So there it is, all in its glory. Southern Railway green, of course. A few changes since we were last here. Let's go onto the platform to have a look at what those changes are now. First major change since we were last here is an addition of a buffet. It's not open at the moment. I'm here later on a Sunday afternoon going into evening, but there are still hourly trains to both Crediton, Exeter St David, Exeter Central, Exeter Central, indeed, running on a Sunday as well, hourly service. So that's great, and good to see people, walkers and cyclists using it. On the opposite platform, you've still got the youth hostel there. The Granite Way bike hire is still there, though it's moved location. They've got a fancier premises now, and they've got a cafe there as well. I'll include a photo I've just taken of that. So that's all the same. So there's an addition of the Bullied one, which is famous for its breakfasts, apparently. Excuse me, I've got a fly on my nose. For its breakfast, apparently. So that's great. Great for additional facility here. So that's all good, but there is one little bit of bad news, so I'll just show you that now. Bad news since we were last here is this, the bridge, the footbridge. Not only has it been closed, you can't access the other side at the moment. Well, you can go around the road bridge, the road that goes underneath the railway here. You can walk underneath that to access that platform there, which is it 2 or 1? I can't remember, 2 or 1. We're on platform 3 here, which is the only platform that's currently railway served. So you can't go on it because canopy has completely gone. It went in one of the storms, I can't remember, was it Bert or one of those, lost the canopy there, and it's lying in a heap on the other side there by the car park for the youth hostel. Now the signal box is still here, it's not currently operational. You have well, you need to get token if you want to go along here, so the Exeter trains don't come this far down the end of the platform. I'm at the bit where, as far as you can walk, and the bit that's overgrown there with like miniature trees growing out of it now, that is our line back to Meldon Quarry, and it's that one that's got the potential of being reopened as a freight line. And that's looking back down to the very colourful station here, Okehampton, with its footbridge suddenly not in use and minus its canopy. On the other side though, the side that isn't used by trains, it is actually platform 2. The platform 1 is the bay platform, that's also not currently used. There is a museum there, a Southern Railway Museum. I've never actually been into it, it's never been open when I've been here, but one to explore and look out for if you do come here to Okehampton Station from Exeter, or indeed further afield than Exeter, but you'll need to, at the moment, leave the station, turn left, go under the road bridge there and come back around by the YHA. Okay, so that was a quick refresh of what it's like here at Okehampton Station. What we're going to do now is head into the town of Okehampton, drive right through it, out the other side before we get to the A30, turn off left into the industrial estate there. I put a map in now to show where I think approximately the site of the new Okehampton interchanges is going to be known. Formerly it was going to be called Okehampton Parkway, which will be able to link into trains on this line here in North Dartmoor in West Devon. So let's go and have a look at that now. I've now come round to the A30 Business Centre. I think it's got another name, Hambledon Business Park, something like that. Anyway, it's on the road out of Okehampton Town Centre before you get on the A30 heading in the direction of Exeter. And you can see here, this is a huge building site for this new railway station. We're building Okehampton Interchange, opening in 2026, so next year, probably the end of next year, with cycle, walking and bus connections and 200 car park spaces. So there's an artist impression, I'll superimpose that now so you can see what it's going to look like. Funded by West Devon Borough Council, Devon County Council, Network Rail, GWR, Devon and Cornwall Rail Partnership, to bring you the Dartmoor line here in the town of Okehampton. So let's just have a little bit more of a look at this site, because it is pretty large. Now this is the site here. Obviously for security reasons we're not allowed in through the fencing because it is a major construction site. But obviously we've come across these before. I showed you the one under construction in Bristol at Portway Park and Ride. We covered the one at Ashley Down when that opened, and the one at Exeter at Marsh Barton, didn't we, here on West Country Wanderings? But it's good to see this. We're going to be reopening in conjunction with the one I also showed you in Okehampton, so that will still be open because that's the best one, obviously, if you want to arrive on foot to explore the town centre and also to go into Dartmoor. But this will be for people that live in the wider area around here, both Devon and Cornwall, that want to access railway routes to go on further afield. Well, where are the railway tracks, I hear you cry? Well, yes, they are, just there. It's only single track, of course. It's a single track line, the Dartmoor line, and it goes up to, was it Colford Junction, doesn't it? But trains will be going through there in both directions every hour. So that'll be, because I think it'll be 2 trains, I guess, servicing the line here. But just move around here and you can see all the bags of cement and gravel and aggregate. We've got cement mixing machines, lorries, cranes. Yeah, full construction site here. I think there's porter cabins on the other side, so there's a lot going on in this site here on the edge of the town of Okehampton to bring you a brand new railway station, another one here in the West Country Wanderings area. Well, I've actually just checked the GWR travel app, train app, looking at arrivals and departures for the town of Okehampton, the station of Okehampton, the existing one, not the new one. Obviously that's not on the system yet. And the train has left Exeter. It's actually just left Crediton. So let's just wait for that train so we can see it going through, to give you an idea of where the railway tracks are better. It'll be going through this new station site here at Okehampton Interchange. So that's it for today, here on West Country Wanderings, one of my railway series in the county of Devon. It was a bit of an assortment today. We had a look at the potential reopening of a freight line, a quarry that provides ballast for much of Network Rail's needs. Hopefully that'll be reopening again. And here we've got this, which is the site of the new Okehampton Interchange station, which will be opening towards the end of next year. And yes, when this opens, I will certainly be covering it and getting on a train from here to Exeter to have a look at that. So that's all exciting, isn't it? And we also had a recap visit back at Okehampton station itself to have a look at that. Sad that the canopy's gone, but it's great that it's got that bullied canteen there, doing great breakfasts. Wasn't open today, obviously it was later on a Sunday, but I think it's open every day in the morning and often goes into the afternoon as well, and really good to have that hourly service, including like today here on a Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it today. Until next time on West Country Wanderings, take care of yourselves, look after yourselves. Hope to see you on the channel again very, very soon. All the best for now. Bye bye.